students, welcome back to your social science class. Today in this video, we are going to learn about some of the salient features of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so the first feature of the Indian Constitution is the Indian Constitution is the lengthiest written constitution in the world. Okay. Now, the Indian Constitution, it consisted of 395 articles, 8 schedules, to which further additions have been made through regular amendments, and at present it contains around 448 articles in 25 parts, 12 schedules, 5 appendixes, and more than 98 amendments. Okay, so this is the first feature of the Indian Constitution, that it is the written and the lengthiest constitution in the world. Next is preamble. So what is preamble? Children, preamble is an introduction to the Constitution. See, when you open a book, at the first page, what do you see? We see a preface. What does the preface tells you? The preface tells you about the content of the book, or rather you can say a preface tells us about the philosophy of the book. Similarly, the word preamble, it literally means the preface or an introduction to the book. It states the aims, purpose and the justification of the Constitution. Okay, now the Constitution of India, it has some distinct and unique features if I try to compare it with the other constitution of the world. See, the Constitution of India, it reflects the best features, keeping in view the peculiar problems and the need of our country. The Indian court is also vested with the authority to interpret any law that is passed by the Parliament. The preamble to the Constitution, it is a one-page document, okay, and it summarizes whatever is written in the Constitution. You can also say that the preamble, it acts as a foundation on which our Constitution is based. Okay, see, I am showing you the preamble of the Indian Constitution. This is the preamble where it is written, "We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign means what? A sovereign nation means where no other external power can rule over you. That is called sovereignty. Okay, so India is a sovereign country. Next, India is a socialist country. Socialist means what? Where government takes up certain responsibility for social welfare of the citizen. That is called a socialist nation. Next is secular and democratic republic. Secular means what? Where every religion is considered equal. That is called a secular nation. And democratic republic, you already know, children, where people have the right to vote. They have the right to elect their representative through free and fair election. Okay. Now, it promises India to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic and political. So, the Constitution, its first and foremost duty is to provide us justice. Next is liberty of thought. Liberty means what? Freedom. Okay, the preamble tells that the Constitution highlights liberty of the people, liberty of people's thought. Okay, people are free to express their opinion, they are free to think, they are free to believe, they are free to have faith, and they are free to worship also. Not only that, it also promotes equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote them all. It also provides, or it also promotes equality of status. Everybody is equal in the eye of law in India. Not only that, in fact, in the Indian Constitution also provides equal opportunity to all its citizens irrespective of their caste, creed, gender and religion. Okay. Last is, it also promotes fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual. Okay, fraternity means what? Feeling of brotherhood. Why? Because India has a very big diversified population. India has a huge and diversified population. So, it is very much necessary to have fraternity or feeling of brotherhood to maintain peace and harmony within the nation. Okay, so this is the preamble of our constitution. Okay, now we will move on to the next feature of the Indian constitution. So the third feature of the Indian constitution, it states that India is a republic country. Okay, what does a republic means? A republic means where we have a people's government. People's government means where we, the people of India, we give vote and we elect our representatives, and those representatives on our behalf, they forms the government. That is known as a republic. So we have an elected head in our country. That's why India can be termed as a republic nation. Okay, now we will move on to the few other features of the Indian constitution. So the next and most important feature of the Indian constitution is federalism. What is the next important feature of the Indian constitution? It is federalism. So what does federalism means? The federalism means division of power among the central government and the different federal units or the state government. Okay, it is also known as federalism. So India has a federal form of government. What does federal form of government means? Federal form of government means where power is divided among the central government and the state government. Now how does they work then? See students, the central government, they works as an autonomous body, and the state government, they also works as an autonomous body. Okay, but the central government, they has to work according to the union list. There are three kinds of list. First is union list, second is state list, third is concurrent list. Okay, so the union government, they works according to the rules and regulations that are mentioned in the union list of the Indian constitution, and the state government or the federal units, they works according to the rules and regulations mentioned in the state list. So what about the concurrent list? The concurrent list, it consists of certain residuary matters, means certain extra matters, okay, according to which both the central government as well as the state government can function. Okay, but as in India we have a holding together federation, so to some extent we can say that in certain cases the state government has to work under the instruction of the central government. Otherwise the state government, they works as an independent body or as an autonomous body. That's why we can say that India has federalism or India has division of power, where the state government and the central government, they works as an independent body and nobody can interfere in each other's work. Okay, next is, in India we have a parliamentary form of government. Okay, so parliamentary form of government, children, they can be also termed as people's government. Okay, what does parliamentary form of government means? See students, in India the constitution guarantees universal adult suffrage. What does universal adult suffrage means? Universal adult suffrage means that every citizen in India are given the right to vote irrespective of their caste, creed, gender and religion above 18 years of age. Now, all the citizens above 18 years, they have the right to vote and they elect their representatives to the parliament and state legislative assembly, or which is also known as Vidhan Sabha. Similarly, your citizens above 25 years of age are allowed to contest election for the post of MP or Minister of Parliament, or as MLA or Minister of State Legislative Assembly. Okay, now this is the structure of the parliament. Okay, but why do we have a parliamentary form of government? Because we say that in India, we say that we have a parliamentary form of government. Because every major decisions of the government are taken by the parliament. Okay, now it might create a question in your mind that why is ma'am saying so? See children, the Prime Minister, he is the real executive of your country. The Prime Minister, along with the Council of Ministers, takes every important decision of your country. But who is this Prime Minister and who are this Council of Ministers? This Prime Minister and this Council of Ministers, all these people are the member of Parliament. They had to get elected. They had to get themselves elected as a member of Parliament or MP. They had to win in the Lok Sabha election. Then only the leader of the majority party in the Lok Sabha or in the Parliament becomes the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister, according to his own choice, based on the basis of popularity of the ministers, he appoints his Council of Ministers. Okay, so you can say that when Prime Minister is taking every decision, every important decision, that means indirectly the Parliament is taking all important decisions, starting from implementing the policy till formulation of the policy. Every decision is being taken by the Parliament only, because the executive and the Parliament or the legislature, they are interrelated to each other, or they are interconnected. Okay. Now, we will move on to the next feature, that is separation of power. Okay, now in India, children, we have separation of power. How is power separated? See, we have three organs in the Indian government. What is it? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. Now, they have individual tasks to perform. For example, legislature's task is to formulate the policy or to make laws for us. So what is the task of the executive? The task of the executive is to implement those policies or to apply those laws on us. So what about the judiciary? The judiciary, their main task is to review those policies or to keep and watch over the executive as well as over the legislature, to find out that whether those laws that has been made by the legislature and the laws which has been initiated by the executive are those for public benefit or not. It is the task of the judiciary. And children, in India, the legislature and the executive are interrelated to each other, but the judiciary has been kept as an independent body. Okay, it is separate from the other two organs of the government. Okay, so in this way, powers are separated, or there is separation of power in India. Okay, now next we will move on to the fundamental rights. So what are these fundamental rights? These fundamental rights are the basic rights that are required for human survival. Life without rights becomes meaningless. Okay, but how did these fundamental rights come into existence? See children, during the British rule, the Indians, they were denied of the basic rights that are required for the survival of its citizen. Now, the Indians, they were discriminated upon the matters of education, law and employment. Not only that, they were not allowed to hold any public meeting in public places. They were in fact arrested without any trial, and they were not given a chance to defend themselves legally. Now, keeping all these things in mind, the makers of the Indian constitutions, they added an entire section of human rights or of basic rights of the people as fundamental rights in the Indian constitution. And six fundamental rights have been guaranteed to us by the Indian constitution. What are the six fundamental rights that have been guaranteed to us by the Indian constitution? Right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation, right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights, and right to constitutional remedies. So these were the 6 fundamental rights that are guaranteed to us. Okay, and it is also, these fundamental rights are guaranteed to us by the Indian Constitution. Okay. Now, what will happen if your fundamental rights gets violated? If our fundamental rights gets violated, we can directly go to the Supreme Court and claim against the violation of our fundamental right. Okay, so today's video is up to this, and in my next video I shall discuss with you about the fundamental rights in details. Till then, have a good day.